Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what it is. First formation is me, your boy Trey. We got my man Ron, the Speakeasy's very own. Of course, Bishop is somewhere out chilling on the beach or somewhere out in the tropics. Shout out to Bishop. We got some stuff to talk about. You're not here to witness it, but that don't mean we ain't gonna talk about it. What's good, Ron? How you doing this morning, bro?
I heard they call me Professor Lowe and the GOAT Bishop didn't show up because of what happened to the Nets this past weekend.
Oh, you say running, keep on running. It's all right. It's all right.
Just like Ben Simmons, oh Bishop.
Hey, I see the meme that you posted where it's like, hey, we down 3-0 and Ben talking about, hey, I just got a 100 kill streak.
The memes is out of control for our boy, man.
Yes, the internet stays undefeated in
I'm-
the worst of times.
when you need somebody, just know the internet coming for you.
Oh yeah, definitely without a doubt. And it has no in all complete savage, no chill whatsoever. They're gonna say what they're gonna say and gonna keep it pushing. And
Yeah.
comes completely immortalized in the strategy in the metaverse.
Oof.
So Ron, how you did this weekend? How was your weekend, bro? What's going on, Lashanda? Good morning, bro. Good morning.
It was incredible. Had an incredible basketball weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Chilled out, did some family time, got
Okay.
some good workouts in. Stay productive. Clean the
Yes, I
house up a little bit.
Yeah, that springtime is coming and going. Same thing, kind of been doing that slowly but surely, getting it. So started to look around the house like, man, how did you get like this? What's good, Freddie?
You
Good
do
morning.
one room at a time.
Oh yeah, that's my moniker. One room at a time. I remember I tried to do that, man, while I was serving in Fort Hood. I tried to do that, and I kind of got caught with my pants down. It was an unfortunate situation, but in case I live by that moniker too. That's the best way to do it. One room at a time, so you get everything going. Because what you usually do is you take one thing from one room, you put it in the other room, and now you done transfer stuff. Like this room is clean, and this one is semi clean after you just cleaned this one. So I was like, you know what, room at a time. So as I transfer stuff garage once it's all said and done.
Exactly.
Uh, so of course, like you saying, there was some good things that went on during basketball, NBA action, fantastic, definitely. Some things we're gonna talk about there. But first, again, I want to talk about this little NCAA, as we know. Of course, another player has decided to declare himself for the draft. Kansas senior guard Otoy Baji it has entered entered the NBA draft for 2022. As we know, he was the finals for MVP. He has decided to strike while the iron is hot. Additionally, what I did not know, Ron, is 5 Duke players have entered into the draft as well at this
Wow.
point. I
Wow.
don't know. What's good, Key? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, man. How you doing? So, do you think the entering of all these players in the draft from Duke is just a situation where nah, Key Bishop out in the tropics somewhere. He's in Miami or he's on a boat, one of the two. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Uh, just them entering the draft due to the there's no Coach K.
Oh, that is a big part. And, Duke has embraced the one and done more than anybody, so it's not shocking at all. But
Okay. But do they have 5 players that's draft worthy? I think
no,
it is. See?
they barely got one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna be Banchero. And a lot of people saying he got a lot of work to do. But one of my favorite early draft people to come out was Devin Booker. He wasn't ready. He should have stayed at
Okay, true that.
Kentucky. He came. He wanted to. He got the work ethic. Got to hang around Kobe a little bit, and look what he turned into. So you might can hit gold with one of them boys.
True that. I think Kyrie was somewhat of that either because what Kyrie was injured for his
Entire
most of
year.
his, yeah,
Yeah.
his entire year, and then so I really didn't even pay attention to Kyrie. It was like, why is it hot so hype? All the hype and up jumps the boogie. Of course, everyone on Bishop. If you out there watching, man, I don't know. You need to get in the comments, defend yourself or something. I,
Yeah, he went to the Bahamas to get the party ready for Brooklyn. I'm gonna
I-
get the hotel, y'all.
hey, y'all just pull up. I got y'all. Don't even worry about it. I'm taking care of business.
Oh my gosh.
Uh, so yes. Of course, additionally, of course, what was surprising. I don't know if you thought it surprising, Ron. Oscar Shibe of the University of Kentucky, the the Wooden Award winner, decided to stay in school, running back another year. What do you say for that? Is that a
What
testament?
year? What year was he in?
Was he? Is it second year? I think he's a sophomore. What's good, buddy? What's good, buddy? Good morning, sir. Good morning. I think he's a I think he's a second year, or was it a second? I think he's a sophomore.
Okay, Oscar Toshibi. There
Yeah,
we.
he was. He won. He was the American, the MVP, the year's the college MVP. He decides to stay for the most part. He's not going anywhere. He's coming back. Maybe wreak havoc on someone, as we know, as we talked about before. Players like Chet Holmgren and Panchero all decided to go ahead and take their talents to the NBA. He decides to stay in
I
college.
think he's a junior.
Oh, junior. Okay, so
He's
yeah,
going
he's
into his senior year,
okay. So now, okay, so he probably does damage. Maybe Kentucky does win a national championship. I don't know.
and he should be getting a degree. So
Oh
shout
yeah,
out.
you know, say shout out like you said, all W's on his behalf. Bringing Kentucky back from obscurity after they took that L against St. Peter's. Uh,
Can we talk
so
about the Tar Heels? Because everybody coming back from my boys.
everyone.
Everybody. We have 5 people so far. The only person who I didn't see yet was our I forget his name, the 7'2" white boy that we got that just be draining them threes from the corner. What's his name?
Is it
Uh,
Mebly? Ebley? Is it Ebel? Something like that. I can't think of
no,
his name.
no, but Jordan Love, the guard that was balling out, came
Mm-hmm.
back, and
Mm-hmm.
Akai, our big man, came back, and
Mm-hmm.
3 others. It's oof,
Oh, so
looking like it's
basically y'all ready to go basically.
if
And
we don't
probably
win
got
a championship,
a
it's a
couple of
failure.
chippers. Probably got a couple of chippers coming in too.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a great year for them boys.
So of course, our focus, of course, for today, the majority of it is to talk about this NBA action. Of course, we got football, a little NFL talk, but of course, as y'all know, the NFL is getting ready for the NFL draft, in which we will be doing team up with the rest of the E2G sports network personalities and doing a whole draft show starting at 6:30 um, at 6:30 on Thursday. So that is going to be interesting as we get and talk about those teams. Of course, we know some of the top talks at this point is where Debo is going to go, where Baker Mayfield is going to go. I can tell y'all now, Debo isn't going anywhere. Debo's going to stay right where he needs to be. But in any other case, in any other case, we go. You know what, bro? You know what? Matter of fact, it was funny, man. I seen a meme where Debo, and of course, if y'all seen it, you're saying please feel free to chime in. Debo was in the club. You know how they jump out there with
Right, I
the
saw it. They had the
Yes,
sign
yes,
that said
the
Debo.
signs, and he just like, mm-mm. I was like, this man probably for real. It's like,
I just saw that this morning.
like Devo is probably bouncing for real. He is not playing.
Oh,
He's like, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be out. I'm out of here. Which, in case that has slower, very much so, probably diminish the what they call the wide back position or that versatility, because if you have a player like Debo who very much so thrived in it, uh, he doesn't him being one of the better ones now shows that no one wants to do it, or no one, or maybe there's not enough money to be paid for his position. I don't know. In essence, there's been plenty of it going on for years. When you take it where you talk about the receiving back who's quick to go get lined up in as a wide receiver out the backfield, and thrive in that as well. But it just so happened I was looking at some of the plays in which I don't think Debo took. He didn't really take that many hits. Of course, they was highlights, so it might have been the ones where he was just moved, scathe free, scotch free. Of course, if you run them like that, sweeps and stuff like that on the goal line, there's everyone's loaded up in the box, so of course he's gonna take those hits there. Um, but Debo, I mean, I keep that same energy. If Debo wants to leave, then understood. Keep it moving. We'll see what we can get for you. But like I said, starting out with that NBA action.
So, what? Let me ask you a question real quick about
Yes,
Debo.
yes,
We
go
know
ahead.
you know as much shade as you've been giving him. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need this contract. Go ahead and earn it. If
Mm-hmm.
you could pick any team that you see the 49ers make a trade for him, where would you want to see him go?
Mm. Of course. So this is a double-edged sword because we say I don't want to see him in the same conference, right? But then again, you don't want to see him in the opposite in the other conference because chances are he could be the reason why you don't get a he can stop you from getting the Super Bowl at the end of the day. So I think the best bet would be uh I think the best bet would be to for him to be and I would like to see him
Jets.
in.
I like the Jets. And Kansas City got a ton of picks.
Yeah, but I don't want him in Kansas City. I like. I'm just
That's
gonna be
what I
honest. Yeah,
heard.
I don't want him anywhere where he's gonna like. I have to see him potentially and see, and then not even just see him potentially, see him in the position where he's could be extremely effective against us. That's just saying the real me talking the real. So the Jets I can understand in which they can build to where it could be a couple of years before he's really effective there. Um, I would also say um, somewhere like to keep him in the conference to where possibly you only have to see him once. Or you know what? Him in Houston, I'm cool with that. Um, I think the safest place for him to go and not really have to worry about it is in Atlanta with Marcus. I could rock Atlanta, the Jets, or Houston. I wouldn't mind seeing them in. Which that might be the Houston one might I mean not Houston the Atlanta one might be a double sword because at some point my man is coming back Ridley and that could make for a hell of a tandem, of course, unless he's traded in and for him and he comes to San Francisco. So uh, but we'll see. I really don't think that there's going to be any movement on Debo unless, like someone said, like it's been said plenty of times, unless there is like a deal that San Francisco just can't pass up for a player who seems disgruntled and doesn't want to play there anymore. Um, then I see where it's okay, time to let him go. Just go ahead. See you later, Debo. It was good while you had us, while we had you. Um, but in this NBA, right? As y'all all know, there has been plenty of protests going up. As you wasn't watching the games this weekend, there was a couple. For the most part of the play or the end of the NBA regular season, as well as the playoffs, there has been a complete and utter uh, bunch of protests. And so finally yesterday, I took it upon myself to like figure out like what is up with all this protesting. Like who were they protesting, especially when it was only at the Minnesota games.
Right.
Uh, so I just didn't understand it. So come to find out, the protest has been due to the fact of targeting the owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Glenn Taylor. So what has happened is Glenn Taylor has a company called Rembrandt Enterprises, and he has been accused of cruelty to animals at the farms in which he has. It basically says that he's alleged to handle the avian flu outbreak incorrectly, in which killed over 28 million in poultry. And the protesters are a group called Direct Action Everywhere, who basically stated that the group was requesting that Taylor donates a HPAI related subsidy he received for public health charities and animal sanctuary as a fine to commit not to taking any such funds or relations to recent outbreaks in these mass killings, as the poultry or the chicken is being killed off. So 28 million chickens supposedly killed in this or correction poultry killed in this during this avian flu, and they're asking for him to take the subsidies in which he has received for losing them and put it towards something else. So that's where all the protesting is coming from, and why every time we look up, there's someone even trying to jump out on the court, chain themselves to the court, glue themselves to the court, all these different things. Ron,
I love it. It's America. We all get that right to
okay,
protest. Let this be China or Russia, and it's going to be drill squad. So
yeah, true that.
we've seen some incredible protests. The lady that glued herself to the floor, she
Mm-hmm.
played more time on the NBA court than Ben Simmons this year. I saw one. It was the undercover security guard. I don't know if you saw the video, but he was sitting there
He was
like
sitting there, he peeped game. He's looked
right
at her.
there
He's
the
like,
whole time. That man hit her like a Bosa brother. So yeah. Do you think this so his business is he's harming animals and
so yeah, it's so supposedly he didn't handle it right when the avian flu came out, in which has decimated those 28 million poultry in poultry. So they're protesting, saying he just didn't handle it right, and
he
he's
messing
and
up the chicken wings.
yeah,
Oh, he
he's man,
gotta go.
he's yeah.
He gotta go. We have a lot of corrupt owners sports wide. Um,
Seemingly.
the Phoenix Suns owner, Timberwolves, there's the top two on my mind.
You gotta think. What's good? Applewhite, what's good, sir? Good morning. Good morning. So you gotta think. Oh, what's his name from Washington Commanders? He doing his own people in. He's like everyone can get it. If it ain't him, it don't make a difference.
if we can't get him out the paint, then
My
once that's
man, my man been hiding out funds from the organization. He's doing it
yeah,
all.
man, he got Wingstop selling us chicken thighs now. That's something that our people can get on with. Messing up our chicken wings. Come on now. We don't play that.
Okay. So this year, of course, in Kyle Lowry, Ron is actually he has a hamstring situation going on as well. Now, of course, that means Kyle Lowry and Devin Booker both with hamstring injuries. Does the impact of Kyle Lowry not being there with a hamstring rival the impact of Devin Booker not being in Phoenix with a hamstring?
No, nothing close to it. Because Devin Booker is the leader of the team, while Kyle Lowry is the leader of the team, like the point guard. But
Mm-hmm.
the Heat don't even need him. He was a nice accessory.
Mm.
But they got Victor Oladipo who they're going to unleash. But we can talk about the Heat as much as they want. Oh, I was thinking the Hawks let us down last night because they got blown out. But Bishop is no longer allowed to yell Boomer Sooner. I'm gonna take that over because my man I was like, don't give up on Trey Young like that. And what did he do? Saturday was it Friday night they came out and just balled
Uh-huh.
out, and the Hawks stole one against the Heat. And I was, go ahead, Hawks, do your thing. The Heat should win it in 5, and they don't need Kyle Lowry for that.
Okay.
But
Matter of fact, let's talk about that. Let's take a little trip back into a little time as we cover the playoff picture
let's do it.
to a sense, you know what I'm saying, give a little slight recap. Of course, as Ron is just basically saying the Atlanta Hawks won their first game of the series behind 24 points from Trey Young, including the game winning floater to make it a 2-1 series with the score of 111 to 110. As he said, say Trey Young finished with 24 points that night. Ron, did you catch that game? Did you look at that game?
Absolutely. I loved every second because I was looking for Trey Young to have a big game. He didn't have as big a game as I did, but he was more of contributing. I thought he was gonna get like 40 something points, but he kept it easy and was distributing the ball. But that's what the Heat do. They've been attacking him all series, and the Hawks need to make sure they get another creator this offseason because it can't just be Trae Young. It's the Trae Young show, and that's easy to stop.
Make sure lock in on him, run boxing ones, or saying bring back old offensive,
Right.
defensive sets and and keep them under wraps. Um, of course, other game of the night that night, Friday night, Milwaukee takes a 2-1 series lead with a 30-point blowout over Chicago, led by Allen's 22 points off the bench, shooting 5 of 7 from 3-point range,
Oh,
winning 111-81. Ron, what is it not what we said? DeMar DeRozan.
Chicago hurt. They was like, we gonna win the series. They was getting excited because a player got injured. Man, Chicago, that's what y'all get. I love laughing at Chicago.
Grayson Allen out of nowhere, 22 points off the bench, 5 from 7 shooting.
Fueled off that hate. He was fueled off that
Oh
hate.
yeah, that's what he loves. He loves that bad guy role, and
Right.
saying he embraced it and did damage. It's not looking good for Chicago as they played again on Sunday, but we'll get to them shortly. Phoenix, run. So Phoenix was able to edge out the New Orleans Pelicans by 3 points with a 114-111 win. With Paul and Aiden do all the heavy lifting as they should, scoring 28 points apiece to aid in that effort. But is it, Ron, is it just masking something that we're all starting to see and they're getting exposed
Right.
to?
Because they won Friday night, and by Sunday night they was burned out. I think CP3 had 4 points last night. It was
I,
it was it was
we have to
crazy.
look at it. I didn't take a look at it, but we're getting to it, of course. Then, of course, Saturday night, as we clicked on, Toronto avoids the sweep, Ron. Philadelphia against Philadelphia with a 110-102 win behind Pascal Siakam's 32-point effort. To have the series now at 3-1 doesn't make a difference, Ron.
I Okay. So I bet Philly to win the series 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
And when we won game 3, I was kind of mad that Joel Embiid shot. So for my pockets, I was happy. As a fan, not
Mm-hmm.
seeing the Sixers close out that game 4. Keys with us. Love your thoughts. But I was disappointed.
Mm.
I was Yeah, we went in tonight. Yeah, I was like, okay, well, we get to go home and have a party in our own locker rooms after we send these boys home. But Trey, if these Raptors beat us and we go game 6, they better close it out. Come on, big game, James. And B been carrying us this series. James Harden, I want 30-10-10 tonight.
So let's put a
Okay,
pictures
you
in it
wasn't
right.
mad. I like it.
Let's put a pictures in it right here, Key, Ron. So what is it is it potentially detrimental that Embiid is going to wait to get his finger, the ligaments, the torn ligaments? Is this detrimental? Is this a problem? Do you think he should he wait, or should he allow the team in which that has been constructed and put together to do what they got to do and go get men, so that way potentially he can be there when it counts, which would be the NBA Finals if able to make it.
Nope. The Bucks is injured, riddled. Brooklyn fell apart. The number 1 seed Miami Heat lost their point guard, but nobody believes in the Heat. Although
Mm-hmm.
everybody said the Raptors was going to beat the Sixers. And all we got to worry about is the Celtics, and it's the
Mm.
Celtics. They're the top defense in the league, but I just don't see how they're going to be able to match Joel Embiid in the paint.
Do you agree
Max,
with Key about Maxi?
yeah, but Maxi is fine. He's gonna be like the convertible that you pull out every now and then. Like Maxi's already great. He's solidified, and B has an excuse if they lose now. That'd be. I don't think it's an excuse. I think it's gonna be a part of the legacy and the story when he's in the NBA Finals. But because Doc came out and said, his thumb isn't gonna get any worse. It's nothing worse can happen more to his hand.
Okay.
Harris, hair. We get to talk. How much shade I've been giving Tobias
I was
Harris, man.
about to say, I was gonna ask you like that's why I put it up. Like you been Harris was
He,
regulated to just a player.
he showed up when you supposed to show up. Shout out Harris, man, making some big shots. Still
Mm.
missing a couple wide open layups, but uh, I'm loving.
Is he the X factor?
No, James.
Okay.
That's big game. That's big game,
I was
James.
about to ask why we haven't heard anything in reference to James, but I mean, saying the bell has told. You just said James is the X factor. He just needs to show up.
Right, and we only need him to show up for one game, as long as Embiid is on the floor. Um,
Mm.
I'm not even scared or nervous about this thumb injury because he had it starting, you know, game 3, and he came through. It's time for Danny Green. He want everybody on the Sixers to go off. If everybody going off, we're gonna be a problem. But we have a great 7, a great 7. We get past just Joel Embiid and James Harden, our two stars. We can go Maxey, we can go Tobias Harris, we can go Green, and we got our X Factor. No, our X Factor. I love this Sixers talk. Is Matisse Thybulle, first team all defense, who hasn't been able to play in Toronto. We have not had our best defender these 2 games in Toronto, and we split 1-1. Is that not a victory, Trey?
Yeah.
Watch when he come back, game 5. It's gonna be ham and cheese time, locking them down. Right. That's all we want him to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want one 30-point game from him, though.
Nah. Well, I guess so. It would be hopefully one of those games where he allows Embiid to kind of like fall back a little, and
Right. We want to see this
Tyrese,
Harden
yeah.
just a little bit. Come on, Harden. Let's see you cook something up.
It's probably coming. So another game that night, Saturday night, Utah ties the series at 2 apiece versus the Dallas Mavericks behind Jordan Clarkson's 25 points off the bench, winning their game 100-99. All these close games.
That might have
Minnesota.
been game of
Which
the
one?
weekend.
You think so? That one?
Cause we thought we've been laughing at Utah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
and then Luka comes back and they still win, and they win by Donovan Mitchell throwing an alley oop to Gobert to win the game when Donovan Mitchell's passed it to that man like less than 100 times the entire year, and that's how they closed the game with Luka coming back.
So you would have been proud of me, Ron, for the first time
Okay.
in life. I played the parlay. But
Ooh.
I went for the gusto though, man. I did an 18-leg parlay.
Okay, I hope you only put like $1 on it. But
No,
those
I
are the
put
funnest ones.
10. I put 10.
Okay,
10,
that's
10 would
good.
have 10 would have got me 20,000. So
Oh, yeah.
and the first leg of the parlay went off the rails. It was already done.
Oh no.
Guess why it went off the rails? I thought there was money in the bank for the first leg. Guess why it went
What
off the
you beat
bank?
the Mavs?
Donovan Mitchell was supposed to score 30 or more.
Oh,
And he only
what did he
scored
score?
23. So
Oh,
I was sitting there cheering. I mean, of course, I was like, man, come on. I was like, and I was looking at it, I was like, oh, overtime. I was like, if we get to overtime, he could get, he could get to overtime. He should be able to.
you don't be betting for a team. You just like betting for crazy stuff.
So it's like because when I looked at it, it was like 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, and he was at 18 points. I'm like, oh man! And I was like, come on, Donovan's like, what is going on? And so he started scoring, and it's like I was like, okay. I was looking at all types of scenarios. I was like, okay, he makes this 3-pointer. I was like, all right. I was like, okay, if they go down, I need them to go down. I need them to foul or and one. As Abel's getting all the time. So when the most optimum point for it to go to overtime, what happens is Powell goes to the line and misses both free throws. I was like, come on. Who does that? Come on, man. Clutch, that's what you needed. And of course, they go down and he throws Rudy Gobert Gobert the lob, and they go up by the 1 point, and then it just there's no then they can't go down the score anymore.
Exactly.
No more scores. So that ended that 18 leg. I was like, come on, man. I was like, gosh. I was like, see, this is a round with I just knew I was gonna at least get past. I thought that if all the games it was that was a 5-4, then there was I think 5 or 6.
Trayshawn changed his life. 18 parlay to win 20,000.
Didn't work. Didn't work out. Didn't work in my favor. It wouldn't have worked anyway because this other part of the parlay was Boston, and that went completely. That of course that was
You bet on the Nets.
yeah. It was
I did
part of
the
it.
I did the same thing. The Nets was favored by 3.5.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? What was going through my head? Maybe I thought Ben Simmons was going to play, but I'm like, it's stupid to pick the Nets to win by 3.5 when you can pick the Celtics to cover by 3.5. As long as they don't lose by 4. And the Celtics
Mm-hmm.
been blowing them out. After that game, I was just like, I'm done for the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't even go back after I went and looked at it, I was like, yeah, that probably was a shot in the dark for real. But I was like, well, I wasted $10 on worse.
That's the good thing. It's only a couple of dollars. You spend more at McDonald's.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, so yeah, that was my talk. I was like, you know what, I can't wait to tell Ron about this. So then, lastly, of course, one of the games, or what two of the games which we didn't cover for the Saturday, Minnesota ties their series with Memphis 2-2 as Karl Anthony Towns puts on a 33-point clinic to correct his dismal game 3 output, with the Minnesota Timberwolves winning 119-118.
So,
It's yes.
Trey, you're gonna got me started talking about betting.
Okay. Okay.
How you win is you find the teams that you ride with.
Okay.
Like the Celtics. We know we
Yes.
can ride with the Celtics. We aren't going
Yes.
to be betting against them for a while. You
Yes.
got to create these rules. One of my rules is I don't care what happens. I had the Memphis Grizzlies going to the conference finals. But guess who I am no longer betting on for the rest of the series, for the rest of the playoffs? Minnesota or Memphis. I'm staying away. I don't want
Stand
nothing to
away.
do with them because I don't know what's going on with these teams. This series, make it make some sense. Make it make some sense. I think Scott Foster. Oh,
Scott
he's
Foster is
repping
repping
for
tonight.
Philly tonight. Oh no, how they let that happen, man? Why would you bet on New Mercy? That was dumb bet to take. The Nets are second rate and not top tier this year. Man, I hate how everybody coming for KD. He's not a superstar. He's not LeBron. He's not this. He's not that. We run with these narratives too quick, Trey. Come on, we're not
Oh
going to.
yeah, that's what they do.
KD's the best player in the NBA.
Although I will say that do you think it's well, hold on, let me get to this part first, and then we'll come back to it. So of course, last on Saturday, Boston takes an overpowering 3.3-point lead over Brooklyn, with Jason Tatum scoring 39 points in a 109-106 victory. So I completely agree with you, Ron. And when we start to talking about KD, like, we not gonna act like this man just when he was with Golden State just didn't dominate. He was pretty dominant. He was 1-2 points between him and Russell at OKC. He was a problem. So why does it change now that he's in Brooklyn? But I will say that I do think your boy Tatum is emerging.
Right. I was like, the only way Boston beats Brooklyn is if Jason Tatum wakes up and decides I'm gonna be better than Kevin Durant,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what he did. And the Boston Celtics were the best team to end the NBA this year, and Brooklyn Nets was a 7 seed playing team. So we shouldn't be that shocked that this happened. Although Kevin Durant should have at least won a game. If Joker, the false MVP, can win a game against Golden State, there's no reason. There's no reason. It's unacceptable, KD, which is why he getting the shade, but we take it too far.
So where we at? So Milwaukee, yes, correction. So now we are. We come to Sunday. Of course, last night the Chicago Bulls were, of course, the game for a host, but that's all they did. Basically, was host as the Milwaukee Bucks pulled a 119 to 195 game versus the Bulls. The Bucks, of course, led by 32 points from Giannis, 17 rebounds, 7 assists, 26 points from Drew Holiday, 27 points from Grayson Allen as he strikes another 5 3-pointers, being the first player in the Milwaukee Bucks playoff history to have two consecutive games of made
Who?
five made 3 pointers in a row. You know what I'm saying? The villain,
Who?
Grayson
Oh,
Allen.
oh, great. Oh, Grayson.
Grayson Allen.
Aaron.
Showing that Chris Middleton, that's what he said. Chris, who? Nah, we good, fam. Of course, the Bulls led by Zach LaVine's 24 points, 20 points from Patrick Williams, 23 points to DeMar DeRozan. Uh, but it doesn't pan out. 10 and 11 from Nuka.
Chicago.
It's not looking. It's not looking too
Do
good for
you
the
give
home
do you
team.
give do you give Zach LaVine max contract money?
No, he's. I don't know. Was it the fact that Demar came and was eating up his possessions? But no, that's not max contract worthy. And which is so when that happens, do you look at your mans and them like, yo, you the reason why I ain't getting paid? Does disdain start to set in because of that?
No, I blame the player in the situation because you've been incredible all year, and when the road gets tough, we get to see who really got that lemon booty.
Mm,
Them shorts start riding up, and you're just not meant for the moment, and
hmm
it sucks because in the NBA now everybody got so much money, so somebody's going to pay him max money.
Oh yeah, he's gonna come. I'll take him
So
in LA. I won't even lie.
with the quickness. With the
come,
quickness.
come on, Zach. Let's go. Uh, Showtime. Let's reemerge. Make Showtime reemerge.
That'd be sexy. I take him in Philly as well.
Yeah, we're not gonna act like he can't he can't get buckets. It's just he's not showing up right now.
But the funny part, real quick, is that Chicago shouldn't do it. But there's a lot of other teams that should. It sucks. They gonna
Of
do it
course,
though.
another game. Oh yeah. They gonna give him that money because to keep him there, especially when they think look at it was promised potentially before Lonzo got injured, and then of course Caruso, going down because they look to stand on Caruso and Lonzo's defense and let everyone else on the backcourt do damage, but you can't do that when neither one of them are there.
Exactly.
So Warriors Nuggets last night. Stay as Ron so eloquently put earlier that the fake MVP. I don't know. Like
Thank you.
I'm 0 for 2 right now when it comes to no 1. So I'm 1-1 with on these awards. Of course, everyone
You stay
figured
wrong.
that that what's his name would get the the defensive player of the year award. So we was all in agreement with that. But
Right.
I just knew Evan Mobley was going to walk away with the defensive player of the year,
Me too.
and it didn't happen. They
I
gave it
was
to
shocked.
Scotty Barnes, although it was a small margin, 15 vote margin. Scotty Barnes becoming the third player in Toronto Raptors history to receive the coveted Rookie of the Year award. The other two being Damon Stoudemire and Vince Carter, which we're gonna get to. I got something in reference to that. I'm gonna ask you, Ron.
Ooh.
We'll get to it in a second. But now we come to the MVP, and as I stated, I'm not doing too hot when it comes to MVP. I mean the those awards, and maybe Jokic is not the MVP when it comes out and be said. Maybe it will be voted to MVP. But in any case, Jokic did what he needed to do to stave off a 4-0 sweep in Denver over the weekend on Sunday yesterday with the Golden State Warriors taking the L, losing 126 to 121. Of course, Golden State was led by 32 points from Steph Curry, 33 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 32 points, 4 rebounds from Klay Thompson, 20 points from Andrew Wiggins, 13 from Draymond, 11 from Jordan. The output seemingly if Jordan didn't have a monstrous game, then they wasn't going to get the dub. Of course, Jokic led 37 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 24 points from Monte Morris, 15 points from Bones Highland as he had the hot hand, 21 points from Aaron Gordon as Denver was able to hold off
It,
Golden
it
State
sounds
for one game.
it sounds for one game. It sounds like you're telling me he had a lot of help.
He did finally, which and I
Finally,
mean, so what I think is, of course, we have a disparity when you have centers that are the teams go to, and guards or even forwards or wings that are just go to. And so
right?
it's kind of hard if you. I don't think there's anywhere in which a center can be the focal point and take over the game consistently. It's not. I don't think that's not this NBA anymore. Hence the reason why
Right.
Jokic has to be.
It's like
Uh,
the wide receiver position. You
yeah.
have to get the ball delivered to you.
So it has to be. So there's no if a center doesn't have help, then that's why, and I think that's why we have the situation and why these big men have been the dominant ones and which have been dominating the trophy for the last couple of years. Giannis, Embiid probably this year, Jokic last year, Giannis twice. Actually, like that has been the rhetoric because it takes a lot for a big man to take over the game. Of course, Giannis a little more so because he's a little more athletic and he can have the ball in his hand more than Jokic
Indeed.
in B because he's going to be allowed to be play the point forward role. So that's saying we have that. Of course, then when you look at other people who potentially had the option, LeBron and a couple of others that had the opportunity to be point forwards. That saying that's the rhetoric is different, but definitely with so it's hard for a player that doesn't have any help to be the dominant one when, like you said, he has to be fed the ball or he has to bring the ball up, he has to shoot the ball, pass the ball. He can't make the shots. It becomes a situation where it's like unfortunate. So I will continue to rock with my choice at that, but of course, um, I think it's going to be Embiid to lose. When I think about how this voting has been going, I think it's definitely everyone feels the same rhetoric about Embiid and how he's been having a monster season and he's deserving of the award. Not to say that he's not, but yeah, it's probably Embiid to
I'm not
lose.
giving Embiid the award if you do not stop it. So, you know, it's frustrating. My Joker has been that guy. True, of course, Jamal Murray is not playing, but I still feel like the Denver Nuggets have a great team, not
Mm-hmm.
an okay team,
Mm-hmm.
but we live in a league now of analytics. That's all
Mm-hmm.
they look at
True
is
that.
these. What was his stats, Trey? What was the thing he did that nobody didn't do ever before? Not even
2002 only player in NBA history to have 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists.
there you go. It's kind of like the Russell Westbrook triple double.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're gonna look at. And B's not even gonna come in second. They're gonna put Giannis before him, and that's the Philly hate.
I don't know about that. I think Embiid finally gets it. He finally gets one. If not, it becomes. I know that becomes disheartening. It's like, what else do I have to do? Like, what do I have to do to get this award? And, even if I'm not trying to, I'm just playing, doing what I get paid to do. But what do I have to do more to get this award?
It's frustrating.
So, of course, as we talked about earlier, Kyle Lowry was out of the rotation due to a hamstring injury. So, of course, that left the door open for Jimmy Butler to do what he needed to do, which was get the W in Atlanta as they were able to dispatch the Hawks 110-86. Butler leading the pack, 36 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 14 points apiece from Bam Adebayo and Adebayo, and 30 and 14 points from PJ Tucker, as well as to go 8 rebounds apiece as well. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists from Max Struss. Oladipo off the bench, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist from Tyler Hero. Duncan Robinson, 3 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. as they really wasn't needed. Everything was done between but everything was done by Butler. The Hawks, led by DeAndre, 124 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, um, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist from John Collins. After that, that was all for double digits outside of Knox, who scored 12 points in 4 minutes. I guess that was cleanup time.
Yeah.
Bogdan Bogdanovich, 4 points. Uh, Okaya Akagu, 4 points. 9 points from Trey Young, 4 points from Kevin Horter. Just no assists for Hunter, and of course it showed as they fall to the Miami Heat, and now the series is at 3-1, with a gentleman's sweep in sight. Or do you think Atlanta has what it takes to get at least one more there, Ron?
Um, sheesh. No, I didn't like how they played in Game 4. They got
Mhm.
blown off at home. They It's hard to if they lost by 2, they lost on a buzzer beater. I could see how they would have momentum, but how you supposed to rally the troops after y'all all just got grenaded in the trenches?
That's true.
They gonna go to Miami. They gonna be like, all right, let's just call it quits here. We can start our vacation plans from Miami.
But hey, I hear get on the phone with Bishop. I hear that he's already there.
Teams can
Set,
kick it.
yeah, setting up. Maybe we could do a situation where we can have some scrimmages against Brooklyn. At at what I said ATL done. It probably is. And then of course last night, the last game. Of course, I'm very sure one of the most surprising series of the NBA or postseason. The Phoenix Suns faced off against the New Orleans Pelicans, as the Pelicans did damage, winning 103 to 118. Shy is Suns led by 23 points from DeAndre Ayton, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. Cameron Johnson, 13 points, 14 points from JaVale McGee, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Chris Paul, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 11 assists. I mean, where do you start? Landry Shamet, 7 points. Just wasn't enough. That's basically what came out. Crowder, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
What was CP3's
Brandon
numbers
Ingram,
again?
however, four, 3 and 1, I think. Oh, 3 and 11.
11 assists.
Mm-hmm. But however, Brandon Ingram leading the charge, 30 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Help from Jonas Valanciunas doing work, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists from CJ McCollum. Herb Jones with the defensive efforts don't show up in the stats, but him and Alvarado did plenty of work. Herb Jones with 13 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Alvarado, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. DeAndre, and you know what? That's funny. Like DeAndre Graham ain't really getting no burn, but he's there. Like they have options in New Orleans, and they're starting. But that man Bi representing,
Yeah. Love me some Ingram. I
he's
got
um he's there. So now, as we said, the series is tied 2-2 apiece, going back to Phoenix as we go 1-1-1. Does this end up? Does this end back up in Well, we know we're going to end the game is potentially going to end in New Orleans, well, yes, let's just say that. Does it end in New Orleans with
no,
the
I
home
know
team?
what you was
Yeah,
asking.
yeah.
It does come back to Phoenix in
Hmm.
7.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
I think the Suns pull it out in 7. CP3 is going to be able to have a old school CP3 game in Game 5 because he took
Hmm.
Game 4 off clearly.
Yes, he
Um,
did.
we'll see another 30-point performance, 10 assists, 10 rebounds from him in Game 5. Then the Pelicans should win Game 6 unless Zion keep dunking, man. He keep dunking.
Reggie Miller last night was like, "Come on, big fella, you can give us 15, just 15." Like, So it's
It's
interesting.
the
But he was,
Pelicans that's not playing him.
yeah.
He would play, or he wouldn't be
So
out there dunking for us.
yeah, he's trying to make a way to try to use the public opinion to get him in the game. It's like, hey, let's go ahead, let's close this out. Maybe he does make an appearance in Game 6. I mean, oh no, because they definitely gonna have a Game 6. It's just a matter of who wins Game 5.
They,
Um,
you know, they would have played him in Game 4, down 2-1.
mm, I think they realize they got something, and they don't they give him another opportunity, uh, and just wait it out. Just wait it out. So put me in the cane, coach. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's definitely interesting. I want to see get him on the court. Let's see if he does damage. I know he wasn't knocking down no jump shots, but of course he was beating the paint up.
Which is what
Uh,
he.
yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. So of course 3 game slate tonight, Ron. Uh, Boston Celtics and the Nets, game 4. Raptors and 76ers, game 5, as well as the Jazz and Mavericks, game 4 or game 5 as well. Starting out with the Boston and the Nets, Ron. Celtics going back to Brooklyn.
I'm gonna
Where
do it again.
it's over.
No, I don't
Oh,
see how KD doesn't win a game. Eh, there's just no way, Trey. There's just no way. How could KD and Kyrie, the two best offensive weapons in the game, not go off? Ugh.
they get one at home. I think they get like I agree with you. I think they could pull this one out at home at least. I think Boston will get the legitimate sweep. Like you said, unless they're that deflated, unless they're that deflated to where they just don't have anything.
They a clip went viral of Kyrie walking into Brooklyn for game 3, and it was like, this is what it looks like when you show up and hate your job. He just looked so disappointed, disgusted. They gonna blame Ben Simmons.
Oh yeah, he's going to set up and build a bad fan base. It's like, what are you doing? Why can't you play? As they said, the reports came out that he has there's still back ailment issues. It's his back. Like you got to. It's a central system. So I mean, you got to. It's a delicate flower. You just have to take it for what it's worth and just believe that that's what's going on.
He is a delicate flower. He be coming to the games looking all sproutful and all colorful too.
So yeah, it's a delicate flower. Or maybe it could be a situation. He's like, man, y'all not finna use me as a scapegoat. Say I come back and then we lose and try to say it was because I was on the floor and there was no chemistry. Like I don't know.
Right. That would further his embarrassment.
So he's better off just chilling. Don't even worry about it. Sit down, take a load off, come back stronger next year.
Whew.
But like you said, I don't foresee them losing. I mean, you would hope that they don't lose. Bishop, if you you remember, because you know what, Bishop waited for you to come back on the show when Philadelphia won lost those games. He waited. He was chomping at the bit to see you again, and now he's gone for presumably the whole week, and he'll be back sometime at the I think Friday or Saturday.
Plan a vacation.
Yeah, he's. I think Bishop is going for the whole week, so it'll be it's just everyone will be waiting and fester. But I know if they get swept, oh baby, is he gonna hear it when he finally comes back? You know what? It's rightfully so. That should happen because I will tell you what happened. Right, the year that USC played against Texas in the national championship. Of course, we all know Vince Young was able to dispatch the great Trojan dynasty and get their win and elevate himself into a Heisman Trophy. Well, actually, he got the Heisman Trophy before then. Applewhite was there too, I believe. So what happened was,
Oh, Applewhite was at the game?
no, he wasn't at the game. Applewhite
Oh,
was he was there. We were stationed together in Fort Hood. So
oh.
this is what happened. I was training room NCO for our dining facility, and so I was a little later coming into the office that morning. but and so what I tried to do is I tried to creep in. So my office is at the front of the facility when
Okay.
you first come in. So usually what happens when you're food culinary specialist, usually most cooks come in through the back door through the kitchen. So as
Right.
opposed to me coming in through the back door through the kitchen, I went ahead and went around through the front door to so I could get into the office. My idea was I want to creep into my office, keep the blinds closed, and no one's gonna know that I'm there. I want to lock my door when I get in. That was the whole plan. I don't know how or when this happened, but when I got to the office, it was pictures of Vince Young taped to my window, pictures of the USC losing, picture of Longhorns. My door was locked, so I couldn't get into the
Well,
office. So yeah, so they wouldn't, saying I couldn't unlock my door. I couldn't get my key out fast enough to unlock the door. Just as I was sitting down, here comes everybody beating on my door, my glass windows, knocking on the window, talking about there's never been a Trojan that could hold a Longhorn, all kind of saying stuff. So and you know who was one of the main ones that was all in on this? Bishop. Bishop was one of the culprits. So now here we go a week later to where if the Brooklyn Nets get swept and we have to wait a week for Bishop to show up, show his face, I think we
mm-mm.
all are willing to do that just to see the humbled face and to hear whatever excuses he's going to have to talk about. Not to mention that his boomer sooner might be on the sidelines as well. Like it's going to be a great day in the day of sports. In any case, next game that's being played tonight, the Toronto correction. No, we're not going to even go there. We'll finish that. We'll say that one for last. The Utah Jazz heading back to Dallas to take on the Dallas Mavericks for Game 5. Do the Jazz pull out another one, or does Luca pull magic tricks and send them on? So send them back to the airport to go back home to get ready for Game 6.
I don't think the Jazz win another game. Mavericks win the next two
Hmm.
and close it out. Luka was just getting them wheels turning in game four. Oof. It's been a great story, Jazz. They have exceeded our expectations, especially when they was down. Um, were they down 2-0 or was it 1-1? I can't even remember.
They was
But
down. No, they because they won. It was 1-1.
okay, yeah. And then Dallas went up 2-1, which was without Luca still went up 2-1. And they bounced back with Luca coming back. They won game four. Great job, Utah. But I think that was the last one.
Hmm. I could agree. I think the Mavericks finish them out. Um, where Rudy Gobert gets to go back on the podium, cuss a little more, give up a couple more coins as he was fined 25,000 for misusing profanity during the presser. Um, so yeah, Rudy, keep that same energy. Go ahead. Uh, so that way. Uh, uh, so of course, look at make it to where he send where potentially we send Donovan Mitchell on his way next year, another organization. Big trades coming. Uh, but of course, the last game of the night, the Raptors. Well, actually, it's the second game of the night, but last game which we're going to talk about for the night. The Raptors go back to Philly to take on the 76ers on their home court as they look to close out with a gentleman sweep. Um, Ron, I already know who you're going with, or maybe you're not. Do the Raptors
You know who I'm going.
extend the series? No chance. No chance of a series
Yeah,
extension.
we was talking about X Factor. Our defensive player of the year comes back, and he's gonna be fresh. So
2 games off,
yeah,
chomping out the
nice
bit to show them like, yo, I'm locking down everybody.
nice vacation. And he wasn't allowed to go to Toronto, so he couldn't even travel with the team. I hope he went to like Cancun for 3-4 days or something, I would have been.
Decompressed a little.
Yeah, sipping mojitos.
So, as I said, I wanted to talk about something later in our segment. So the Raptors, like you said, Scotty Barnes, shout out to Scotty Barnes, wins the Kia Kia Rookie of the Year for 2020, winning by 15 votes over uh, forward center Evan Mobley from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Barnes, guard forward, becomes the third player for Toronto Raptors to win the Rookie of the Year award. So I ask you this, Ron: Does that is that a good thing to where you have had, or is it just a testament to how many times you're in the lottery to where you get a player that is potentially able to get you the Rookie of the Year award?
Toronto has a lot of draft picks, but
Mm-hmm.
can't really think of like somebody that they got it like, oh, they drafted Jason Tatum or they drafted Ingram, a superstar that we knew was going to be one. They get guys like Pascal Siakam, Spicy P, and develop them. I
Yes,
think
that's true.
it's a
That
lot of Nick Nurse. It's a lot of their coaching staff, a lot of their management. They are the best of the league. Them, Miami, in regards to getting players and turning them into that work ethic and making them develop. I still can't believe Scotty Barnes won Rookie of the Year.
and see
Testament
that
to Raptors.
it's true that, and I can understand what you're saying because I've always looked at when I look across the league, I look at how Los Angeles, the Lakers, when we talk about Los Angeles, they've picked talent. They can pick talent, they just can't develop it seemingly, and and that's the problem when you look at the Brandon Ingrams, the Julius Randles, the Jordan Clarksons, Lonzo Balls. The players that have gone through there and now are somewhere else and making a difference. And when we had them, D'Angelo Russell, it's like when we had him, it was like nothing happened. Then we trade them away, and now they're making causing noise somewhere else. Uh,
Exactly.
so it's like I think we can pick them, but we just can't develop them. Or it could be what a lot of people say that sometimes you maybe just got to move LeBron to the left or right, and because it's a thing where he believes and says that okay, this is someone's team or this is what's going on, but that isn't the usage, of course, unless the coach is saying, "Hey, give LeBron the ball to LeBron."
But I'm not even gonna give the shade to the Lakers because that's their history. We've been talking about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the last draft picks that the Lakers had that really turned out and became something? You got to go back to the 80s with Baylor. It's not
Mm-hmm.
what they do. Kobe wasn't even somebody they drafted. They traded for him.
Yeah, it's true that. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Guy gave it Vlade and um what's his name? Eddie
It's,
Jones.
it's Hollywood. We don't got time to develop, y'all. We need
We
stars.
need you ready to go. If you when you step on this court, you got to be ready to go. Showtime. It's showtime.
That's a beautiful thing. I'd much rather be Showtime than Miami or Toronto that got to develop because don't nobody want to go there. Well, Miami, everybody wants to go there, but Toronto, Utah, Denver, places like that, they got to develop.
Mm.
Don't start
Oh,
thinking about the Lakers so much, Trey. It's gonna be okay.
so going forth, a couple of more questions. Going forth, especially with this Brooklyn team, uh, as we look for them to even be dispatched tonight or a game or two away from here, what do you think they need to fix the team? What is it that you think is going to be the most advantageous? Do you think getting rid of Kyrie and or KD is a time to blow it up? Uh,
No, I know what their problem is.
okay.
They don't have a point guard. And KD's been playing playoff minutes since March, 40 minutes a game. And if you look at his turnovers, he's I think he was the first player in NBA history to get over 7 turnovers in a playoff game or something crazy like
Mhm.
that. And that's because he's bringing the ball up. He's taking on point guard duties, and that's not what I want for Kevin Durant. I want him, coming off of screens, going to the corner, moving through the offense, and it's not he's not able to be Kevin Durant because he's got to be so much more for Brooklyn. And they got the Dragic, and he's coming off an injury, but I guess he's just I don't know. But
You think Steve Nash is adequate for the coaching, or you think he has some play? Some of it lies in him.
unless we're talking about developing players
Mm-hmm.
and building rosters like a Nick Nurse in Toronto, that wasn't
Mm-hmm.
what Steve Nash's job was to do. His job
Mm-hmm.
was just to be a player's coach. Kevin Durant and Kyrie's really the coach. I mean, he's a puppet head. So we can't really. They're gonna blame Steve Nash, and we
Mm-hmm.
love blaming Steve Nash. They said the only thing he's good at is giving out great hugs to his players.
So, and then, or do you also additionally do you see Ben Simmons as a savior at some point, or is that completely?
If only they had a 6'9" point guard just sitting around that they could use to help bring the ball up. I
Mm,
think I think Brooklyn's gonna be fine. Um,
actually, once it's
as
all said
long as
and done.
I think Ben Simmons, he's gonna get his confidence back, but he's not gonna do it this year. Brooklyn needs more defensive players, of course, and distribute more than trying to be Showtime. But I don't think Nash is the problem. I think is management. Because they made the big splashy trade. They got Andre Drummond, they got Seth, they got some great assets for Harden, but Harden was the point guard. They should have made sure I guess they thought Ben was gonna be playing. Because I'm like, why didn't y'all make an effort to bring in, another backup point guard?
So I ask you this question, Ron. A couple of questions. A team. We're going to build a team.
Okay.
In building your team, I want you to provide me who your all time player is that you will have at that position.
Ooh.
So we'll start off with let's start off with probably an easy one. All time in your position.
Say that one more time.
Center. Who's your all time center? Who's getting who's getting the nod to start on your all time roster? Who's your all time center?
Out of all the centers that's ever played,
Yes. Is it the Shake? Is it the Dream Shake? Is it the most dominant big man in the
Embiid,
history of the game? Is it Big Fundamentals? The Admiral? Who's your all time center?
I'm gonna be different. Of course, the first person that comes to my mind is Joel Embiid, who will have
Mm-hmm.
that title eventually. But I'm
Mm.
gonna take it. I'm gonna take it way, way, way back. Give me
Way back.
the Celtics center.
Mm.
What's our name? Mr. 13 championships.
Bill Russell.
Yeah, give me Bill Russell for my center. I want the
Okay.
best winner to have ever played the position.
Okay. Power forward.
Give me
Cause
Tim Duncan.
Timmy D.
My
All
team,
right.
my front court is the most unselfish front court in history.
That's what it's
Because
shaping out to me. That's what it's definitely shaping out. What about small forward?
I'm sorry, LeBron, but give me Larry Bird.
Ooh, that is one I did not expect, but I can see it, especially with with Duncan and and Russell.
Right.
Mm.
My point
Oh,
guards are going to shock you too.
shooting guard.
Um, if you ain't picking Jordan or Kobe for your shooting guard, we gonna need to get you tested. And of course, we Kobe passed, and a lot of people have moved him up. But Give me Mr. Air Jordan.
Air Jordan.
'Cause that's going to be the only selfish player on the team. Because Larry, Duncan, and Bill don't really care. They just want to win. Jordan's going to be the only one that's like, all right, but I'm getting these buckets.
So far we have shooting guard Michael Jordan, small forward Larry Bird, power forward Tim Duncan, and center Bill Russell. Who do you finish this list off with for your?
Drum roll! I'm not picking Steph. I'm not picking Chris Paul, Steve Nash,
It's
not
probably
even
gonna,
Magic.
it's probably gonna be Kyrie.
Give me the only point guard to be able to lead a team to championships, the one who had the secret, Mr. Detroit Piston, Isaiah
Isaiah Thomas.
Thomas.
Ooh. So I can see that. For a second, I thought you was about to say Stockton, but okay, Isaiah. I can see that Isaiah. So Isaiah Thomas, Kobe Bryant,
No, MJ.
correction, MJ. You know what? I completely left out. So I could. The question was, and it's my fault. I said this, but the question was supposed to be most skilled player at the position. So, do you still think that would be the most skilled players at the position? If you say it, if you was to go still with that all time,
Mm-mm.
you think some of
Kyrie.
those Kyrie? Okay.
Kyrie's the most skilled point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan's the most skilled shooting guard. LeBron's the most skilled.
Small forward.
Anthony Davis is the most skilled power forward.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the best because Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan blow that man
Yeah,
out the water, and Elijah Wan's the most skilled center.
that is so. So you from you got three according to the ball don't stop. You got three out of the five.
I got power forward wrong,
No,
and
you got power forward right.
they
You got
put
center
Anthony
right.
Davis.
Yeah, you got power forward right. You got the center right. You got the point guard right. You got the
What they
shooting
say?
guards
Kobe. Oh, Kobe and KD.
correct.
Okay.
Correct. So that's what they have. They have
KD is not more skilled than LeBron. He's just taller and longer and got a meaner jump shot.
yeah. So they have Kyrie Irving, the most skilled point guard. Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, the most skilled small forward. Anthony Davis, the most skilled power forward, and of course Akeem Olajuwon,
Now
the most
we can
skilled
argue
center.
KD and LeBron, but
Mm-hmm.
we got to stop it. Kobe was not more skilled than Jordan. He was a better version of Michael Jordan, but
Do you think Kobe gets a lot of posthumous love? If that's what that is.
exactly, exactly.
So this isn't any type of Laker bias, but like you said, he was a very close to LeBron. I mean to Kobe. I mean to Jordan.
Jordan,
Yeah, he was very close to Jordan.
I feel
Was
like he was a better version of Jordan.
but not just more skilled than Jordan.
No,
Hmm.
you disagree? You like Kobe there?
No, so I would wonder what would be the maybe I have to look it up. What would set them apart to where they put Kobe there? What we look at, yeah. What would be what puts Kobe there?
I would think it would be that Kobe did it with multiple versions and had to be multiple different people, and Jordan's dynasty stayed the same.
Mm, I could dig that. I could dig that. So I have another one for you. Start, sit, start, bench, cut. Start, bench, cut. The players in start, bench, cut. We have Jordan Poole. I probably already know your answer on this one. We have Jordan Poole, Tyreek Maxey, Tyler Hero. Start, sit. Start, bench, cut.
I mean, Jordan Poole just stole Steph Curry's spot, so it's gonna be hard not to start him. Kobe is more skilled than Jordan. What is he more skilled at? Richard. Uh, we definitely benching Maxi and 3 point shooting. Really, they didn't do that in the '90s. That's really a hard debate.
Comparison, yeah.
If Jordan wanted to be a great 3 point shooter, that man would have been a great 3 point shooter. But he liked going into the paint and dunking on dudes. Uh, and goodbye, Tyler Hero.
So the reason I agree with the goodbye Tyler Hero for the most part is because Tyler Hero is a spotty person. Like you might get oh, you don't know what version you gonna get for the most part because he knows that he has the ability, but it doesn't always show up. So I could agree with the bench. I mean the cutting the Tyler Hero. Jordan Poole probably would be the starter. I can see Maxi as the bench. I don't think it could go wrong in that case.
Is there any way this is the best version of Jordan Poole and going forward, we never really see him get here again?
That is, but I mean the to say that he still has a ceiling, he hasn't even reached his ceiling. That's scary.
Yeah.
Can you see a situation to where he? I mean, of course, I don't see a situation to where he pushes Steph to the bench, or he
Yeah.
forces
That,
Steph out of he forces Steph out of
that's just right now. They riding a high hand.
hmm but that is evident like they lost when he didn't turn up. So
Yeah.
shout out to Michigan. The production, they're producing them. Um,
They a factory.
so of course, before moving on into the pigskin, shout out to the Military Basketball Association's very own um, Fort Carson military basketball team as they were able to pick up their um, season winning their division, winning the Central United States Military Basketball League championship with a I think 12-1 record. So as I was talking to Coach Myers last night, briefly, he was informing me that they did win the regular season as they get ready. Of course, a lot of teams, at least 20 teams, get ready to travel to San Antonio to be a part of the military nationals, and then of course that's at the end of this month, actually this weekend, and then additionally, as we talked to them on Friday, they get ready to load up to become to do battle in Las Vegas as they go to take on the top 12 teams in the Western Conference as well as the Eastern Conference, as the Eastern Conference will be in Phoenix City, Alabama. So, of course, if you're in Alabama, near Phoenix City, be sure to check out the Military Basketball Association's Eastern Conference playoffs. And if you're on the West Coast, happen to be in Las Vegas, be sure to stop by and check out the West Coast. As we know, the top 6 teams, I believe it is top 8. I think it's top 8 or top 6. I have to go back and look again. Go on to play in Denver, uh, Colorado in the for the championship in July. So if you're in any of those areas, be sure to check it out. Some good basketball. Um, what else do we have? So going on into our NFL, yes, I got a little time for NFL. Um, one of the things in which we have, of course, as y'all heard me and Ron speaking earlier, we talked a little bit about Mr. Samuels. Of course, as we was talking about Mr. Samuels, we seen Mr. Sam for those that came in late. We seen Mr. Samuels. We seen Mr. Samuels in the. We seen Mr. Samuels in the club. as he was caught in the club. Of course, they had the sparklers and the sign, everyone dancing. Debo's not leaving San Francisco. Debo staying in LA. Corrections. Debo staying in San Francisco with the hashtag Debo in San Francisco. And then, of course, in the corner, you see Debo, and Debo states with the that ain't happening hand sign, uh, cut it off that he's not staying in San Francisco. I don't know how we've come to this point, but obviously we're here. In which now we're looking at Debo not being in San Francisco, which is understandable, as we were talking about earlier. So we'll just keep pushing from there. Ron, as we have it, the NFL has stated that they will release the schedule on May 12th. Additionally, they also said that they will be looking to release other factions of the schedule before the May 12th as it'll start to come out. Of course, you have the first Thursday night game that will be aired on Amazon Prime. We have a couple of they're going, of course, some of the Thanksgiving games, the overseas games, as well as the Christmas games. Are you excited, Ron, to check out this the schedule coming out?
Absolutely. Am
It
I coming through?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
So
yeah, absolutely.
So me as well. As always, I always look and want to see and take a gander, take a look at what my team could potentially be for this year, for that year, as well to see if there's any games in which I could potentially get to take a look at. So of course, this is a beautiful time of the year. To look forward to see if there's any if we have any how many primetime games we have. Which it
Yep,
does, like, I
that's
guess it does make
important.
a difference.
When you got your divisional games,
Yes. Who you playing while out of the division, especially after it's all said and done. Like, let's say in the case of if Debo does get traded, is he going to somewhere in which we're going to play? Do I have to see him? Is he going to potentially do damage? Those type of things. Of course, Ron, let me know if you think this is surprising. The Jacksonville Jaguars said they have yet to have received any calls in reference to their number one seed. Uh, do you think that's by design, or you think no one really does think they're trading that, or don't there's no value in that pick for them?
there ain't no quarterbacks. It's a defensive end and tackle, offensive tackle heavy, top heavy of the draft. Don't nobody want Hutchinson, who's going to be the number one pick. Although I hope he goes to Detroit at number two.
You think Detroit could use them more so need them than Jacksonville?
I think both cases is a little irrelevant. But
Mm.
Detroit, he's coming from Michigan. He could be the
Okay, I see what
hometown
you're saying. Yeah.
hero. You know, great story.
Okay, I can see that. I can understand that. Um, Brady does what Brady does. So of course we know last year, correction, 2021, which was last year. Brady went ahead and signed a 2-year, $50 million guaranteed contract uh, for to help out with the salary cap. So of course he finds himself in the same predicament as he's owed 20 million for this year. But Brady doing what Brady does. I guess he doesn't need the money, or it's not about the money for him. He goes and he puts up and resigns and restructures his contract to where now it has been restructured to where now it has opened up $9 million on a cap for Tampa Bay that was actually sitting at a little less than 1 million. Is this part of the reason why we consider this man the GOAT?
Yeah, yeah. Puts his future, his finances second, even his family. He sacrifices everything for the game. Sacrifice.
And that it can make this where there's a little more respect for him when you look at it. It's like, you know what? You got to respect the guy that does it, puts other things first. Ain't nothing against Mr. Rogers. I mean, everyone has their reasons.
He's the formula, and the sad part is there's literally no other quarterback that's done that.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes got like 500 mil, and we seen him lose his weapons. Like y'all aren't gonna be better than the Buffalo Bills, the Chargers, the Broncos, any of that this year. Um, Rodgers lost his weapon. Even Derek Carr made sure he got his money.
Mm.
If I'm Derek Carr, I don't need no new contract for what? I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. Who else can we get?
Yeah, who else can you put in my stable for me to be able to be able to connect with?
And they don't realize that winning Super Bowls is going to get you more than that contract ever could.
Mm. Interesting concept. I can understand it though. I could definitely understand it. So I have a 7 names, right? Oh well, let's not go there yet. Let's go here. Earl Thomas, once feared, revered safety for Seattle Seahawks, Legion of Boom, as well as the short-lived 18 months, 17 months to be exact, for the Baltimore Ravens, has been on a 2-year hiatus, and here he comes at the age of 33 looking to make a comeback. Is there anyone that is going to take him up on this offer?
LA.
You know what? That is the first team that came to mind. I was like, wouldn't it be? I was like, I can see it now.
We're only
I can
giving you
see it
1
now.
year though, sir. Make
Saying,
two.
giving them the same Eric Weddle deal.
Exactly. Come win you a Super Bowl and see how you can perform. And if you lights out like you've always been, another team will definitely pay you for that next contract. Go ahead down to Jacksonville after.
Mm. So as we was talking about Debo, as we move swiftly through these topics, to get back to this one I was just talking about, we was just talking about Debo, and there's 3 teams that are lying in wait. And you know what? See, when blood is in the water, teams. You know what I'm saying? I used to be my homie. Now you act like you don't know me. What comes to mind? So 3 teams are lying in wait to throw a deal for Debo. Who's the 3 teams? As y'all sit here and probably wonder, these 3 teams.
Can I guess them?
Go ahead, take a gander.
Philly, Kansas City, Tampa Bay. Oh, the Jets probably too. I got 4.
Okay, so you got 1 out of the 3. Try
Dang.
the Jets, the Lions, and the Packers. So now
Oh, how did I forget the Packers?
I think about the question you asked me earlier, and out of those 3 teams, of course, the one in which he does not, that I would not dare to trade to, regardless of what. Well, I gonna say regardless. At this point, regardless of what they're offering me, he definitely wouldn't be going to.
Packers.
Yes, hell no, not a chance. Unless y'all giving me Jones and y'all first round pick, and maybe a late in a second next year. I'm not finna give you Debo. It's not gonna happen. I can see him in Detroit. I'm fine with that, as well as the Jets. Shout out to Robert Sala, like, you know what I'm saying. You the homie. I'll do this for you. But that's it. He's not. Who in their right mind is trading a weapon that used to be your weapon to a foe that basically you have on lockdown for him to come back and catch you later on? Nah, I'm not doing that. You don't have to work for this.
Agreed.
There's no way it possible. So, if you've been checking out the FCFC, the FCF, of course, the FCS is a fan focus, the fan controlled uh, um, football league. Then you know that Johnny Manziel and Terrell Owens play for a team, the Zappers. The Zappers are currently 0-2, but something is a brewing on that front, as the Zappers are basically they're starting to be a chemistry between Johnny Manziel and Terrell Owens. Of course, Terrell Owens at the age of 48 decided to come back in the Hall of Fame where receiver Terrell Owens at the age of 48 has decided to make a reemergence, and I guess saying they're probably playing him restrictedly because he doesn't seem to be doing anything, but they're starting to build a chemistry, and it's looking like there's going to be a pretty fearsome chemistry once they build it, as long as they keep working in that way. Johnny Manziel rolling from the pocket, throwing crossbody, hit TO just before the line. But of course, like I said, they're not. It doesn't bode well if they're not winning, as they got blown out 33-6. Now Johnny Manziel was the only scorer on a quarterback keeper, so it remains to be seen. But now going back to this one, top wide receiver duels going into the draft. I'm gonna give you seven duels, Ron, and I want you to put them in order 7 through 5. I'm 7 through 1. 7 you're 7 through 1.
Let's
The
do it.
the duels we have. First duel, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Tom Brady, and Mike Evans, Kirk Cousins, and Jefferson, Mr. Prescott, and CD Lamb, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase,
That's number one.
Matthew Stafford, and Cooper Kupp. And lastly, Mr. Herbert and Mr. Allen in Charger Land. Who is your 7 through 1 as the top QB duels before the draft?
So I have a 1A and a 1B, a tie.
Okay.
Cooper Cup, Stafford,
Mm-hmm.
and Burrow and our Boomer.
Okay. Burrow and Chase.
Yep. Number 3, give me Allen and Diggs.
Ooh. Okay, Josh Allen.
4,
Okay, Josh Allen.
yeah. And number 4, the GOAT, Tom Brady and Evans. 5, 6, and 7. Who was the other 3? Herbert.
Herbert and Allen, Cousins and Jefferson, Dak and Lamb.
Okay, they're last. Herbert and whatchamacallit is 5, and then 6, Kirk Cousins and Jefferson.
So I think I would have went with which would have been a very close Stafford and Kupp. I could see your 1A 1B for Stafford, Kupp, and Burrow, Chase. I think I would still keep with your Allen and Diggs. I think that's going to be a pretty potent one. I think I would actually take Dak and Lamb next, then go with Brady and Evans.
So why you got Dak and Lamb so high?
I just think that's you know what? I stand corrected, because if they had said Dak and Gallup, I might have thought differently. I might have had differently, because Lamb they have Dak and Lamb has not been like the best of connections going forth. So actually, I think Dak and Lamb would be my 7. Then Cousins and Jefferson. Then Herbert and Allen. I guess it would be the same then. Brady Evans, Allen Diggs, and then Stafford and Chase. So okay, I got you. I can see it. Of course, we don't have names like Adams and Carr, because they have not played together yet in the pros. So we're not looking to put them together, connect them. So yes. So additionally, another one which I have for you. So let's talk about the AFC quarterbacks, right? I want to ask you about the power rankings, right? A power ranking for the top top AFC quarterbacks 1 through 16. I won't give you the quarterback. Oh, you know what? Let's make this a little easier. I'll give you what I have seen FanDuel's top 16 power rankings for quarterbacks, and tell me if you agree where we need to plug and play, where we need to switch. Top 16 for the AFC. Number 16, Houston Texans, Davis Mills. Number 15, New York Jets, Zach Wilson. Number 14, Pittsburgh Steelers, Mitchell Trubisky. Number 13, Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. Number 12, Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa. Number 11, Indianapolis Colts, Matt Ryan. Number 10, New England Patriots, Mac Jones. Number 9, Ryan Tannehill's, Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill. At number 8, Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson. Number 7, Las Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr. Number 6, Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Number 5, Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson. Number 4, Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert. Number 3, Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Of course, number 1 rounds out with Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. Do you think that is a pretty concise AFC quarterback power ranking for the AFC conference?
No. I'm
Okay.
moving Lamar up.
Okay.
And Josh Allen's 1A, 1B.
Okay.
Mahomes is 3.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson was at 7.
He was at 8.
He's at 8.
Yes, he's
Yeah,
8.
he's getting at least the 5 or 6 spot.
Mm-hmm.
And arguably, I honestly would put him as a 1C.
Okay.
Well,
Which
and,
it pushes.
and if I
Go
I
ahead.
put him
go
at
ahead.
4 behind Mahomes. I want him at 4 behind Mahomes.
Okay. So basically, your only the 6 is a problem with the top 8. The top 9 you feel is good, or is there someone that moving around? Mac Jones number 10, Ryan Tannehill's 9, Tua's 12, Lawrence is 13, Trubisky's number 14.
Who was 8?
8 is Russell Wilson was 5. 8 was
Okay.
Deshaun.
Yeah, Russell Wilson comes back, and I will move Mac Jones up as the first one out of that. Not elite
Okay.
tier.
Okay. So we move Mac Jones, drop Tannehill.
Yeah. He's definitely ahead of Tannehill at 9.
You think Derek Carr's good at 7? Well, actually, Derek Carr will push down to 8 in what you were saying in power ranking.
Yep. Derek Carr, then Mac Jones.
Okay. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, the biggest egregious thing to me is the Lamar shade, as always. How many of them other quarterbacks won an MVP?
Oh, none. None, actually.
Mahomes. Only Mahomes.
None.
But,
Well, no, only one. Matt Ryan won the MVP.
oh, Lord.
Has Patrick Mahomes won the MVP?
Yep.
Okay, so Matt Ryan and Patrick Mahomes, that's it. So, yeah, Lamar, Mahomes, and Ryan, 16. Out of 16, 3 of them have won the MVP. Interesting. So, of course, as we know, the USFL has started their season. They're in week 2 when it comes down to football. If I don't know if y'all ever if you follow the USFL, 3.0 is hilarious. The shade they throw at the USFL, very very funny and entertaining. But in any case, week 2 of the USL of the
Um,
USFL. Uh,
it's not Trey. It's not because you started talking about the USFL, but I gotta roll out a little bit early today.
okay, go ahead, bro.
All right. Appreciate
All right, I
having me
took a
on.
yes, sir.
Love y'all.
Be easy, man. See, talk to you later on this week. So, of course, at the USFL, what you have is the week 2 as they started off. Of course, uh, not bad, not too shabby if you haven't seen it. Of course, they currently have 2 teams that are sitting undefeated. One of the 2 teams is the New Orleans Breakers, as they were able to handle the Tampa Bay Bandits mighty handily with a 34-3 thrashing. That defense is something to revere. New Orleans Breakers, like I said, USFL currently 2-0. Going into a season. The Bandits, Tampa Bay Bandits, dropping to 1-1. The other team, 2-0 team, the Birmingham Stallions. Of course, y'all know the USFL is played in the in the Birmingham area. All games are played in the Birmingham area, and of course, their home team seems to not be disappointing, as they're currently 2-0 with their getting their win this weekend over the Houston Gamblers, 33-28 in a close game. Houston Gamblers dropping to 1-1. And then, of course, you have the other teams. The the Generals, however, New Jersey Generals squeaked out a 10-6 win over the Michigan Panthers to even their record as 1-1. The Panthers going 0-2. And then, of course, the other team that is 0-2 team, the Pittsburgh Maulers, lose to cross-state rival, the Philadelphia Stars, 30-23 for the Generals to go, correction, for the Stars to go 1-1, and the Maulers to do 20 to be 0-2 in this second week. Of course, in week 3, starting April 30th, May 1st, as we know, the games are played throughout the weekend, whole weekend, USFL. The first game of the Friday will be the Pittsburgh, correction, first 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Saturday. The Pittsburgh Maulers will face off against the Michigan Panthers at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all catch the game on Fox Sports. Tampa Bay Bandits will face off against the Houston Gamblers at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fox Sports on April 30th. And then the last 2 games, the Birmingham Stallions will take on the undefeated, both the bottom of the undefeated, the Birmingham Stallions take on the New Orleans Breakers at 2:30, 2:30 Central Eastern Standard Time on USA Network. You can catch that game as well. Lastly, the New Jersey Generals will take on the Philadelphia Stars at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Peacock on May 1st. So, and of course, when you look at that, you have the potential for one team, the Panthers and the Maulers play both the battle of the defeat, the offers. Someone's going to walk away with a win, and then of course, Birmingham is and New Orleans face off each other, and someone's going to walk away as the only lone undefeated team in the USFL as you go forth. Uh, Very interesting as we come forth to now the XFL is due to start next year. USFL is going currently now. I was looking at the XFL's page. Like I said, I followed them. It was a very interesting plan put forth by a fan. He basically said that what if the XFL's championship played against the worst team in the NFL at the end of the season? And if the XFL, the winner of this, if the XFL was able to beat the NFL team would then be demoted into the XFL, in the NFL and the XFL team goes to play in the NFL, and you continue doing this every year, going forth with the XFL champion playing the worst team in the NFL with the option to with the winning team staying in NFL or being demoted into the XFL and going to the NFL. That would be an interesting concept. I don't know who would agree with that, but it definitely be interesting. Of course, I'm all about building some type of building up a certain type of rapport with things and trying new things out. Of course, no one's going to try that at the least, but interesting concept. So, of course, high speeds. It's our show for today. Has been a great show, rocking with y'all. Of course, next thing Ron comes on and did his thing. We talked a little bit. We get to check out, talk more tomorrow. More about the NBA action that's going on. Continue to load up as we get ready for the draft. Who your favorite teams? Get the chance to talk about your favorite teams. Great day in sports, great year in sports as we come to it. But that's our time for today. I greatly appreciate y'all high speeds rocking with me today. I look forward to rock with y'all tomorrow. As y'all know, first formation every morning, Monday through Friday, 09 to 1100 hours, or less. Here and there. Let's say that here and there. But like I said, check us out tomorrow. Please feel free to go check out all the E2G channels that you can find on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, as well as the First Formation. You can find on YouTube, here on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram. So, again, appreciate y'all rocking with us and coming on and viewing with us. I see you tomorrow. This is Trey. I'll holla at you.